Assalamualaikum to both panel, Dr. Hasnahwi and Dr. Mazlina. Today, me, Ikmal Rashidi bin Sobri, with my partners Nur Alisha binti Razi and Siti Aina Azrina binti Muhammad Dalail, would like to present our undergraduate project, which is Dark Tourism Development Impact to Attitude of Local Residents in Ranau, Sabah. First, we take a look on the background of study. Dark tourism in Malaysia is very synonym and able to attract visitors. This statement is supported by London in 2017, which emphasized the term dark tourism as the location of crime, genocide, assassination, incarceration, and the Holocaust that has served to attract visitors. Meanwhile, according to Chamin and others in 2020, stated that Malaysia has diversity in dark tourism sites and destinations such as cemeteries, museums, and war relics that becoming more popular regarding to its dark past event. Moreover, Malaysia has dark tourism attractions specifically in Sandakan Ranau, Sabah, which encounter massacre of prisoners of war from British and Australian during their march to Ranau in 1994. To relate the existence of dark tourism in this area, Masanti in 2016 stressed on the acceptance factor among the local community has influenced the decision of the perspective in the exploring and branding a potential site as dark tourism attraction. And there is requirement and measure the response of inhabitants as a tourism growth commerce based on the research made by the Church in 2017.
Dark tourism is one of the important elements in tourism industry. According to Jamin 2020, Malaysia has a lot of dark tourism sites and certain dark tourism places has left directly or indirectly impact toward residents. The development of dark tourism will give impact to economy, socio-cultural and environment. In terms of impact in dark tourism, Wong and Low said that economy help provide employment opportunities and increase the income of local residents. Not only that, Glass-On 2017 said the impact of socio-cultural also have changed in the quality of daily life residents in tourist destinations and give impact in the changes in traditional values, norms and identities. This can be supported by the socio-cultural impact of tourism has an influence on local socio-cultural characteristics, influence the social habits of the resident in the tourist destination, said by Woosnam 2018. In addition, the impact of dark tourism in terms of the environment involve improved local living, public facilities and surrounding, Kim et al. This can be supported by local residents are willing to be involved in the process of making tourism development strategies, said Wong and Luo 2017. However, when it gives effect to a local community, what is the acceptance of local people in Ranau Sabah towards economy, socio-cultural and environment? Looking into perspective, Ranau Sabah has been recognized as dark tourism site. Thus, how the attitude of local residents on the impact of dark tourism development in Ranau? Coates and Ferguson 2018 said, as some residents are still sensitive about the tragedy, people who are still in loss of their relative in the disaster may get upset emotionally. There is a limited study on the relationship between the impact of economy, social culture and environment of dark tourism development towards attitude of local people. From this, the researcher want to see how the attitude of local people towards the impact of dark tourism development and to investigate the correlation between tourism impact and the attitude of local people toward dark tourism development in Ranau, Sabah.
For this study, we have three research objectives supported by three research questions, which are: first, to examine the overall perception of Ranau local residents on the impact of dark tourism development. Second, to assess local resident perception and attitude of dark tourism. Third, to examine the relationship between the impact of dark tourism development in economy, social culture and environment and local resident attitude. For study framework, the independent variable, it shows that the impact of dark tourism development of economy, social culture and environment towards attitude of local residents in Ranau Sabah. We also have three hypotheses, which are: there is significant relationship between economy has impact of dark tourism development and the attitude of local residents. Second, there is significant relationship between social culture as the impact of dark tourism development and attitude of local residents. And third, there is significant relationship between environment as the impact of dark tourism development and attitude of local residents. For the academic aspect, they still have limited study in Ranau Sabah. Also, it creates a new body language of knowledge in Malaysia dark tourism research. For the practical aspect, it helps the tourism board who are in charge in the sector to help it enhance the quality of life of people and give awareness to people around these places. Generally, the impact of dark tourism development can be perceived as a positive and negative impact. Also, it can be discussed that the impact of dark tourism development can recover the local economy, social culture and environment of that places. In economy, the impact can generate the income of the places and will provide job opportunity to the local community in that area. For the social culture, Lesson 2017 stated that by maintaining and protect the culture can give positive impact, and by changing the value of culture can give the negative impact to the local people. In environment, the impact will have positive preservation and conservation of the natural environment to ensure the cleanliness of the area. For the attitude, it is essential to assess local residents' supportive attitude to ensure the sustainability of the destination attraction.
To run research relation between IV and DV above, we require research methodology. Informed research approach, this study is a descriptive study using quantitative approach. For time horizon, this is cross-sectional study which researcher collect data at one time and researcher use self-completed questionnaire that was distributed to the respondent. For sample and population, in this study, using non-probability sampling that were convenience, sampling is used as the sampling technique. And for the unit of analysis, which is individual of people, which is local people of Ranau. To determine the sample size, we are using Tabachnik and Fiedel formula and supported with the response rate minimal 74 people, which is referring to 85 data response rate. For the instrumentation, the researcher divided into three main sections, where consists 34 items from all sections. We are used multi-language questionnaire, which is with assistance from the expert translator to check the question tally with the translation used. Despite of that, the conduction of people study is 30 respondents from the group to run reliability tests with to get feedback as the respondent able to understand and interpret the question correctly. For data collection method, the way we reach Ranau local people at destination is via Google Form question. We also get the assistance from the third party to obtain legitimate respondents with the condition that we put. The data collection run in the 3 weeks time frame and there is no time bound set for the respondent to answer. Overall, we managed to collect 99 respondents. For data analysis, we are using SPSS. We are use the Cronbach Alpha to know the reliability of the questionnaire, and for answering objective 1 and 2, we are using descriptive analysis, and for objective 3 and also hypothesis of the study, we are using inferential statistic, which is multiple linear regression.
Demographic profile. Majority of the local people respondents are female as opposed to male. Highest percentage of their age is range 20 to 30 years old, followed by middle age 40 to 59 years old and 60 and above. Majority of them pose an undergraduate qualification with the occupation of professional, administrative, semi-skills and business. The length of residence, majority has lived there for 16 to 15 years, 16 and 30 years, followed by over 30 years has lived in Ranau, Sabah. Moving on to reliability test. Based on the table, this Cronbach Alpha result, it consists of 4 variables which are economy, socio-cultural and environment, also attitude of local people. Overall, it means that all the independent variable and dependent variable are acceptable as all those variables fall under Cronbach Alpha. 0.7 less than equal alpha less than equal 0.9, which according to Hare et al. Rule of thumb, it is reliable. In answering Objective 1 and Research Question 1, the researcher ran descriptive analysis looking at mean score to know the overall perception. In economy, the magnitude of the mean score range from 3.60 to 3.89, indicate that all the respondents agree. From economy perspective, local people are having a good perception since it has provided more employment opportunity and has helped increase residents' income. Next, socio-cultural, magnitude of the mean score range from 3.65 to 3.80, indicate that all the respondents agree. Include that the perception of local people on the impact of dark tourism are helping in increase the culture diversity and developing a culture identity of the place. And then we have environment. Magnitude of the mean score 3.52 to 3.71 indicate that all the respondents agree. This shows that local people are embracing the benefit of environment at their place as the development of dark tourism helps to protect the heritage. In answering Objective 2 and Research Question 2, to assess local resident attitude on dark tourism, the attitude of local people has magnitude of mean score range from 3.54 to 3.68, indicate that all the respondents agree. It shows that their living standard has increased and there are so many development for the local people. Next, in answering Objective 3, Research Question 3 and Hypothesis of the study, the researcher ran multiple linear regression. In general, looking at R-square, overall this model contributes to 82% to the attitude of local people. Another 20% are obtained by other factors. Looking at the significance, economy has found not significant with more than p-value 0.05. Due to that, hypotheses are being rejected. However, social, cultural and environment, they are significant to the attitude of local people with that below than p-value 0.05. Hypothesis 2 and Hypothesis 3 are accepted. Looking at the beta value, environment are slightly higher compared social cultural, indicate that environment has strong predictor.
For discussion, answering the RQ1 in economy, the respondents are agreed that development provide more job opportunities. Supported by article from NET 2015, that tourism development can offer job opportunity and the industry will grow rapidly and bring success to the national economy. In social culture, the respondents also agree the development of dark tourism can help to increase the cultural diversity, rebuild the local culture and develop the cultural identity of the places. Other studies stated that the impact of dark tourism development improve the lifestyle and the value of living with the objective of boosting cultural value. Besides that, respondents also agree when the development of dark tourism can protect the environmental places in Ranau, Sabah. As supported by study, it helps to recover, protect the local ecological and help the local community experience a higher standard of living as the development of dark tourism. Based on the mean score, the locals show the high interest in response of environmental impact because it's preserved well and have a good environment, facilities and infrastructure in Ranau, Sabah. To support this, local residents always emphasize in tourism planning for the ongoing development of any tourism has the resident satisfaction. Proceed to RQ3. In economy, hypothesis 1 is rejected. This finding is contrary from the past research conducted by 2017. One stated that tourism development gives job opportunity that related to tourism. However, this research found that the impact of that tourism development in terms of economy is not significant towards attitude of local people. Based on demographic profile in this study, majority of respondents work in professional, administrative and on business that is not related to tourism. As supported by another research, resident attitude will be natural when they are not experiencing direct economic benefit from the tourism sector. Meanwhile, in Hypothesis 2, there is a significant relationship between social culture and attitude of local residents. The researcher found that the attitude of local residents give an impact when they maintain the value of the culture in the dark tourism development. Supported from other study, it helped to maintain local culture by creating awareness to protect their traditional culture until they can appreciate the history of the places. Other than that, the Hypothesis 3 showed the environment has a significant relationship to the attitude of local residents. The researcher can see the local community can accept environmental because it helps to recover and protect the local ecological in Ranau, Sabah. Other researchers stated that positive implications of the dark tourism development are clearly found in the positive preservation and conservation of the natural environment. Also, it can ensure the cleanliness of the area where the locals live.
The implication of this study highlights the local attitude on Ranau dark tourism development impact is very crucial. Implication to the state government, stakeholder and related authorities as they are able to either maintain or improve in terms of preserve, conserve and develop in more sustainable way. For economic impact, which are being highlighted and criticized as lack of benefit perceived by local people, this indicates the local people require more exposure on the benefit that they will gain from it. In another perspective, social culture need further structuring and strengthening program and also education. The most remarkable findings, which is environment perspective, is also seen as the influential impact in attitude of local Ranau toward dark tourism development. Environment aspect should be preserved from pollution and should have planned the strategic buildings, and all the natural resources must not be overutilized in the process of dark tourism development.
Limitation and future research. Researchers unable to conduct face-to-face session with the respondent as this pandemic outbreak. and we have time constraint to collect the data. As this study focused on Sabah as contextual setting, study only applied to this state alone. Researcher can look at the broader scope of the study. Future researchers should study other than economy, social, cultural, and environment impact. In conclusion, the finding of the economy, social culture, and environment turned out to be positive determinants that influence the attitude of local people. Social, cultural, and environment are the most influential and largest contributor towards attitude of local people toward dark tourism in Ranau, Sabah than economy. Collaboration and cooperation between all authorities should be further strengthened to achieve total experience toward development of dark tourism.